You all know that I started something called Schumacher College. How many of you have heard Schumacher College? All of you have heard Schumacher College. That's amazing. So when you go to a university, the teacher look at you, a young woman or a young man, and they think that you have no body. You have no heart, no hands, no legs, only brain. And even that, only half brain. How many of you know that we have two spheres of the brain? That's right, very good. Left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Our universities, our schools, our colleges span from age 5 to 20, 22, 15 years. They spend billions and billions and billions of pounds building after building after building. Oxford, Cambridge, Exeter, Bristol, Edinburgh, Paris, New York, Washington, Delhi, Mumbai, Beijing, you name it. Training just half brain. What a waste. What a waste. So we started Schumacher College, Regenerative Learning, where we say, you are a whole person. You have heart, you have hands, you have a head, and you have legs. And at Schumacher College, you will learn intellectual knowledge, of course, but right brain as well. The right brain is brain of intuition, brain of imagination, brain of spirit, brain of being green. And also you have a heart, an education of heart, how to respect each other. In our modern times, in our education system, nobody teaches us to respect each other. We don't respect our elders. I'm 86 years old. If I was in India, I don't need to be Satish Kumar to be respected. The very fact that I have lived on this beautiful planet Earth for 86 years, that's enough qualification for me to gain respect from younger generation.
Away in, I'd say. You're welcome to go
in our modern societies and modern world, particularly Western world, we don't respect elders, we don't respect our parents. Old people, parents, mother, father, you are too old, go to old age home. I have no time for you. We don't respect our parents. We don't respect our teachers. Teachers are doing just a job. It's your job to teach me, that's it. We don't teach and respect our doctors. Don't respect people. So, heart education is to cultivate respect for others. We are very trained in our educational system to be judgmental. We can criticize our teachers, we can criticize our doctors, we can criticize our authors, we can criticize our parents, we can criticize our husbands or wives, we can criticize. We don't learn how to love. Any university which does not teach you how to love is no good university. You agree? The first lesson of every university should be how to love. I've read a book called Radical Love. And I say that there are two kinds of love. One love is moderate love. And we don't even teach in our universities moderate love. Moderate love is to love your people you like, people you agree with, people you are friends, your neighbors, colleagues, and you expect them to love you back. That's a moderate love. But radical love is to love without expectation. No expectation that I will be loved back. But I love you because I love you. Whatever you are, whoever you are, the very fact that you are a human being For me, you are a divine being, and I love you. The very fact that you are a tree, you are a divine tree, and I love you. The very fact that you are a beautiful bird, a beautiful animal, or a beautiful insect, a beautiful earthworm, I love you. Radical love is to love yourself. How many universities teach you love
There's
yourself?
space in there if you want to go inside.
Quite often, our
Yeah,
university
yeah.
teach you hate yourself, criticize yourself. You are not
There's
good
space
enough.
inside if anyone wants to
You
go
write
in.
an essay. You give it to your teacher.
Yeah.
Reads it.
Done.
Okay. You can do better. Not good enough. Not good enough. So, we don't learn from a childhood how to love ourselves. And how are we going to love others if we don't love
Yes,
even
I'm good. I'm
ourselves?
just telling people that they can go in.
We have to
Absolutely.
learn
Yeah,
to
yeah.
love ourselves. Love
Well,
yourself.
we started a bit early.
When Jesus Christ
Yeah.
said, that love your neighbor, He
Once
said,
at the
as
end,
you
can I
love
give you some of these
yourself.
and Can we try give them to
you took it for granted that you love yourself.
Oh, really?
So I didn't
So
get to give them
from
out.
today,
I
when you
walked in
go
and
from
it
green
stopped.
gathering,
I was
just
like,
say,
oh God.
I am going to love
But I was
myself.
like, right.
So just
Okay?
around as many as
Yes,
as you
exactly.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Yes.
Each and every one of you are
you're
very
literally
special.
just giving them like handed
Each
I just
every
go.
and every
And
human
just do the
being.
side with
Each
his
and every
face.
living being.
Like,
But
open
every
to it,
human
so.
being. You are a gift to the universe. And the universe is a gift to you. And you have come here with a great purpose,
I took
great
it to the
meaning
Brand Skills Fair
Yeah.
to love.
a couple of weeks ago.
The essence of life is to love. The meaning of life is to love. The purpose of life is to love. The purpose of work is to love. You cook because you love cooking. You cook because you love
Yeah.
your friends and your guests and you want to cook for them.
Space,
You
I'd
cook
say.
because you love yourself and you want to give yourself good food. So you are cooking for love. You are gardening for love. Do no work at all if you don't love it. Take it from Satish Kumar. Human life is very precious and we need to cultivate love
come in, there's still
and
a bit
we
of
have to
space on the
work for
floor.
love and work with love and do things with
like to
love
come in, there's
so
space
that
in there.
that work will be beautiful, that work will be joyful, that work will be a gift to the world. And if you love something, you don't pollute, you don't waste, you don't have any climate change, you don't have any global warming, you don't have any kind of biodiversity diminishing. All these things are happening in the world today because we have lost to love the planet. We have forgotten how to love nature. We have forgotten how to love other people. We have forgotten Ukraine war, Iraq war, Afghanistan war, Pakistan war, all the wars going on, Vietnam war, because we have forgotten how to love. So love is the essence of education. If you want to have a transformative learning and regenerative learning and transform university system, that's what Schumacher College is pioneering. That we are trying to say education of head, yes, holistic science, ecological economics, how to stop climate change, how to protect biodiversity, nature-centered education. At the moment, our education is human-centered, not even human-centered, actually, not even human-centered, it's just job-centered. The moment you are in a school, or primary school or secondary school, a kind of career advisor, God forgive, career advisor comes to a primary or secondary school, and certainly at university. The Barclays Bank and the BP and Shell and Esso and Morrison's and Sainsbury's and everybody come to universities looking for jobs, recruiting bright boys and girls, young men and women, so that they can be the kind of like an instrument of making money for them. Every business organization has a department called HR. You know what HR stands for? Human resources. Humans have become just a resource for making money, for the business, for SO, BP, whoever, Marks and Spencer, whoever, all the big organizations. You and I are no longer human beings. We are simply a resource for the economy. Economic growth. Economic growth. Economic growth. That is the mantra. Not human growth. Not human well-being. Economic growth. So, I would like to change that. And join me. And change HR from human resources to human relationship. Human relationship is supreme. Human dignity is supreme. Humans are not simply a resource. Economy should be the resource for human relationship and human well-being. And again, I would say that not only humans have turned into a resource for the economy, but nature is seen as simply a resource for the economy. Natural resources. I want to tell all the business leaders, all the government leaders, Rishi Sunak, are you listening? Joe Biden, are you listening? Xi Jinping, are you listening? Modi, are you listening? I want to tell you, nature is not a resource for the economy. Nature is the source of life itself. At the moment we see that nature is not just a resource for the economy, but economy is in the service of nature, then nature becomes the end and economy becomes the means to an end. At the moment, the economy has become the end, production, consumption, consumerism, materialism, shopping, that has become the end, and humans are a resource and nature is a resource. We have become the means to an end. So, transformative learning and regenerative learning, creating a love revolution in our education, is to turn that around and say, economy is a source of life, human relationships are supreme, human dignity is supreme, and our universities and schools and colleges should teach human dignity, human relationship, integrity of nature, integrity of planet Earth, and economy, money, business, commerce, profit, banking, accounting, budgeting, all these are means to an end. That is my vision for a regenerative learning. And in order to do that, we are at a green gathering, and I would like to say that green gathering people need to broaden their perspective and have 3 words which I call soil. So can you bring the books here so that I can show them around? Soil, soul, and society. Quite often we environmentalists, and I'm one of them, I've been editing Resurgence and Ecologist magazine. Yeah, this is my book, Soil, Soul, and Society. And I've been working for Resurgence magazine for the last 50 years. And Schumacher College for the last 30 years. And I've been promoting that environment, nature, Green Party, Friends of the Earth, Greenpeace, all our green values are absolutely essential and necessary. But we have to be more than just an environmentalist. We have to go a bit broader. And therefore we need to bring the inner transformation, the spiritual transformation. We have to realize that we need to have compassion, kindness, generosity. We have to be peaceful. We have to be happy. We have to be happy. Unless we are looking after ourselves, we cannot look after the planet. If we don't love ourselves, we cannot love nature. And therefore, human well-being and our inner transformation, our spiritual well-being, our ability to be contented and be happy and joyful and blissful, that is as essential as looking after nature, being organic gardening, organic farming, planting trees, protecting rainforest, cleaning the rivers, cleaning the oceans, protesting against the oil, going Extinction Rebellion. All the things you do is fine, no problem. But without the spirituality and without the compassion in your heart and without being happy and joyful, all that is not enough. So that's my second point. Soil, which is nature, greenery, environment, and a soul. We all have soul. We are soulful. Nature is soulful. This planet is not a dead rock. This planet is a living organism. You must have heard of the word anima mundi, the world soul, the earth soul, animate earth. So if we don't love in our heart and we don't appreciate the soul qualities of our being, then it is not enough. So I want to make our movement holistic. Then the third point, which I have brought in my book, Soil, Soul, Society, is that quite a lot of environmentalists think that people don't matter. We have to protect the trees. We have to protect the biodiversity. We have to protect the oceans and rivers. And we have to stop the rainforest being cut down. Yes, of course, we have to do all that. But human community is as important. Social justice is as important. If we don't have social justice, poverty, discrimination, racism, sexism, imperialism, colonialism, black people not being respected, poor people not being respected, you cannot have healthy planet without healthy people. You need healthy planet and you need healthy people to look after each other. So I say soil, nature, soul, spirit, and society, human community. These three things together, soil, soul, society together, make our environmental movement and ecology movement, the green movement, a more holistic, a more complete movement. I mean, many great movements have been established on three words. The French Revolution was established on three words: égalité, liberté, fraternité. So our green movement, our green environmental movement, see why I brought the book Green at Green Gathering. I want to say green movement should be established on this new trinity for our time. The new trinity is soil, soul, and society. So soil, we already understand. We have protected environment, nature, because we are soil beings. Without soil, there is no human. I don't know how many of you know, in Latin, the word for soil is humus. Word for soil is humus. And word humus and human come from the same root. So human beings are literally soil beings. Our bodies are made of soil. Our food is soil transformed. All the food you eat, the beautiful kind of oranges and apples and cabbages and cauliflowers and peas and beans and avocados. I don't eat avocados, they're imported. I like to have local English food. I have a garden, 2 acres of land, and at the moment I've got sort of beans and peas coming out of my ears. And of course zest I can't manage. And a beetroot, wow, what a beautiful color. And the carrots. So, but they're all soil transformed. This wood you have, this carpet you have, all soil transformed. So soil is the absolutely foundation of everything. But soil also has a soul. We have to express our gratitude to the soil. Soil feeds every human being and every living being, animals and plants and everything, without any discrimination, without any judgment. Whether you are poor or rich, whether you are king or a beggar, whether you are a poet or a priest, you are a prisoner or a criminal, whoever you are, earth will feed you. What a beautiful spiritual teaching that soil gives you. Non-judgmental, without any discrimination. in my meditation, I always pay my gratitude to the soil. Thank you, soil, for feeding all living beings. And then soul, I meditate on my meaning of life, the purpose of life, the kind of beauty of life, the kind of subtlety of life, how I relate to each other with love, with respect, without judgment, without being critical. Like soil and earth looks after every human being and every living being, I want to look after each and every human being and living being, trees and animals and humans all together in the same way. That's a soul. And the society, I say, I go beyond all these divisions. You are Hindu, you are Muslim, you are British, you are Chinese, you are American, you are Russian, you are black, you are white, you are this, you are that. We have got into these labels. I'm a communist, I love communists. I'm a capitalist, I love capitalists. I'm a Christian, I love Christians. I'm a Buddhist, I love Buddhists. I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim. I'm a black, I'm white. I'm a tree, I'm everything. Whole universe is in me, and I'm in the universe. That is the magnanimity of my heart that I want to share with you. For me, the whole cosmos is my country. Of course, I have British passport, and Britain is my country. I was born in India. India is my country. But I go beyond that. Beyond that, I say, whole cosmos is my country. And whole planet Earth is my home. Of course, I have a home in Devon. Very beautiful home, lovely garden. I love it. But I go beyond that. I say, whole planet Earth is my home. And what is my nationality? If you ask me, what is your nationality? I have a new nationality. Nature is my nationality. Nature. The word nature comes from birth. When mother is pregnant, she is prenatal check. She makes postnatal check after the birth. Natal and nature word come from the same root. So nature means birth, being born. Everybody who is born is nature. I'm born, my nationality is nature. And my religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Baha'i, Jew, I go beyond that. Love is my religion. So, this is my kind of regenerative learning message. That we have to teach our children and our young people all over the world, from Beijing to Bombay, from New York to Moscow, from London to Cape Town, everywhere in the world, we say, before you are Indian, American, Chinese, African, or whatever, you are a citizen of the world. And the cosmos is like your country, and planet is your home, and nature is your nationality, and love is your religion. And then you can have any label you like. You can be Welsh, you can be Scottish, you can be Devonian, you can be English, you can be French, German, Italian, whatever you are, I don't mind. But broaden your mind, and that's a society. So soil, soul, society. Here's my trinity for a regenerative and a transformative new education. And I want every school in the country, every school, from primary school to secondary school, have a garden. You take this message with me? Every school must have a garden where our young people can see how food is grown and how our plants and a seed can become a plant, and a plant from that seed you can see tomatoes and potatoes and many apples and other fruit from one seed. That miracle of nature has to be learned in every school and university. And every university should have farm. And whether you are a professor, whether you are a chancellor, whether you are a vice chancellor, whether you are a student, a lecturer, whoever you are, everybody must spend some time in on the farm, in the garden, growing food. If people say, I have no time to garden, I say, then you have no time to eat. You have no time to eat. If you need to eat, you also need to garden. Grow some food. So I write books. I teach at Schumacher College. I come like Green Gathering, give talks, but I also have 2 acres of garden. and I plant potatoes, I plant beans and peas, and sweet corns, and asparagus, and raspberries, and strawberries, and many, many other things. I love that. That's the greatest luxury that I can have. So soil, soul, society. This is a new trinity for our time, and I want green gathering and the green movement around the world, around Britain, to adopt this new trinity for our time. And our new green movement has to be based on this new trinity for our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so, so much, Satish, for those really enlivening and inspiring and moving words, and for all your wisdom. We now have a really exciting opportunity. We'll do a Q&A with Satish. So if anyone's got any questions, please do raise your hand. And I think it might be a bit of a speak loud. Oh, okay, we've got a mic. So we can pass that round.
Questions? I purposely spoke short, but I want to have lots of questions for you. So we can take a question there.
At the back.
Behind there. Please, if you could stand up so we can see your face, and thank you.
Hiya, thanks so much. I just wondered if you could reflect a bit on how you see a transition occurring from now.
Yes, how the transition occurring. All great movement and great transition happens when things start small. So we have to start where we are. All great movements, like a great river. How does a great river start? Somewhere in the fringe. Somewhere in Dartmoor, Exmoor, River Thames starts somewhere in Cirencester. Near Cirencester, there's a little trickle of water called River Thames starting, and for 5 miles you walk and you never see any much water, very, very little. And then another tributary comes, another tributary comes, another tributary comes, and by the time it reaches Oxford, it's a big river. And by the time it reaches London and estuary, it's a very big estuary. So all great movements start on the fringe. Please don't expect 10 Downing Street to be the leader of Green Party. Please don't expect revolution to start from White House or the Kremlin. It will start from you and me at the grassroots level. And so we have to start small. Do not think that we have to just become big tomorrow. It takes time. And when I started editing Resurgence magazine, not one single windmill was producing renewable energy. When I started, there was not one single solar panel producing renewable energy. And now, 35% of British energy is coming from renewable resources. That is how any transition and transformation happens. And when originally this movement started in Wales, near Machynlleth, with a Centre for Alternative Technology. And they started windmill and solar panel, and people laughed at them and say, "You fools, go in the hills and mountains of Wales and dreaming that needs of Britain's energy can be met by solar panels and windmills. You are fool. You are dreamer." Like John Lennon, they were dreamers, but they were not the only ones. And now, so that's how transformation happens. Don't wait for government to change. People have to change at the grassroots level. We have to all start eating organic food. We have to all start stopping waste. We have to all reduce our energy consumption. When majority of people have changed their way of life, way of thinking, way of educating their children, then government will legislate it. Government will not be the leader of change. Government will not be the leader of transformation. So transformation starts from the grassroots level. Small scale, like a seed becomes an oak tree. A small movement can become a big movement if we all work hard for all our life. And work without expecting results. This is a hard one. We always want outcome, expecting results in our lifetime. Tomorrow, change must come tomorrow, if not yesterday. Doesn't happen. act, do your activism. I'm an activist. I'm an optimist, but I act without expectation. I'm speaking to you, I have no expectation. I come to Green Gathering, no expectation. I come because it's worth coming. I'm speaking to you, worth speaking. I'm meeting you, worth meeting. What will happen? What will be the outcome? I have no idea. I have no expectation. Some of you might say, oh, Satish, fool, I wasted my time. Others will say, oh, Satish, you are such a wise man. Why don't you come again? I want to listen to you again. It's up to you. I have no expectation. So transformation happens at the grassroots level, everybody committing themselves without any expectation of any results, any outcome. Do it, day after day, until the last breath of your life. I became an activist at the age 18, and now I'm 86, and I want to continue to be an activist until the last breath of my life. And that's all I can do. I have no control over the world. I have no control over Rishi Sunak. I have no control over Modi and Xi Jinping and Putin and Biden, but I have control on my body. I will act, day after day. What happens? I have no idea. This is how transformation happens.
Another question?
Next question.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, Satish. Your words of wisdom inspire us all, I'm sure. With regard to organic food, of course, some people can't afford it, but I would suggest that if you haven't got a garden, then you can put yourself on an allotment waiting list with your local parish council. And the one thing that's obligated by parish councils is to provide allotments for those who are on the waiting list. So if your own parish council isn't doing that, then I suggest you co-opt yourself onto it or get elected onto it under the banner of a Green Party or whatever and make it happen. There are 90,000 people on a waiting list for allotments in this country. So the obligation is there for all these parish councils to provide many, many allotments, which they aren't doing. So I just wanted to point that out to people in the room in case they thought that organic food isn't obtainable, isn't affordable, but it is. Another thing I wanted to point out was prior to your discussion, we had the Stop Oil talk. And it's no coincidence that it is the topsoil that we grow our food on. And in order for the topsoil to continue to be healthy, then we have to stop oil. So we're using the same letters there.
Okay.
The same as earth and heart. And I thank you for drawing attention to the etymology, is it?
Yeah.
Of the word. So I really respect you as a wordsmith and feel very inspired by it. So with regard to a question, I have none.
Thank you.
But I just wanted the opportunity to thank you.
Thank you for contribution. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. So, is this working? Yeah. Thank you so much, Satish.
Yeah. You and then after you. Then, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You were saying about the importance of remaining happy and joyful.
Yeah.
Which I do try to do, but I think it's very difficult for a lot of us in the world today when we see so much injustice and suffering and destruction of nature around us. I was just wondering if you have any words that you could give to us on how to maintain a happy outlook.
Yeah. If you want to be happy only when the world is perfect, I give you a warning. You will never be happy. You will never be happy. To be happy in the midst of troubles, in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of being in prison, in the midst of being challenged, and act happily, then you know the art of being happy. If you are hoping and waiting for a world to be perfect, socially just, ecologically sustainable and regenerative, and spiritually well-being, and everybody nice to each other, and no problem, no violence, no injustice, nothing happens, then you will be happy. I'm afraid you will never be happy. So I am happy, very happy, even though sometimes I shed my tears to see the state of the world. Even though I can be sad to see how our planet is being polluted and how our soul is being ruined and how humanity is being treated badly. And therefore, I act. I do my best. I write an article. I go and protest. I stand in front of government offices. I walked from India to America without any penny in my pocket for 2.5 years, protesting against the nuclear weapons. I went to the Kremlin. I went to the White House. I went to 10 Downing Street. And I protested. And I walked quite often bare feet and without a penny. 15 countries, 8,000 miles. Every day I was protesting, and every day I was happy. I think we have to learn to be happy in the midst of difficulties, in the midst of problems. Say, I'll be happy with my wife, but she's perfect. You will never be happy. I'll be happy when my husband is perfect. You will never be happy. I'll be happy when my children are perfect. You will never be happy. Learn to be happy even when your children are behaving badly. Learn to be happy even if your husband is flirting with somebody else. Because happiness is not given to you by your husband. Happiness is not given to you by your Sunak. Don't make Sunak, Rishi Sunak or Modi or Xi Jinping or Putin or Joe Biden or BP or Esso or Shell or anybody else in charge of your life. They are not CEOs of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You are in charge of your happiness. Your happiness does not depend on Sunak or Modi or Shell or BP or Marks and Spencer or Satish Kumar or Guru or any Jesus Christ or Archbishop of Canterbury or the Pope. Nobody. You are in charge. So be happy in the midst of the difficulties. Today, I am appointing every one of you a new position. You are the CEO of your life.
Thank you. So my question is around, I was really struck by what you said about if you don't want to work, don't work. So in terms of purposeful, so I'm very aware that for me, I am privileged enough to do work that I find purposeful and that provides me with what I need. And I'm aware that for many people it isn't like that. I was just wondering if you could speak a little bit more about how a lot of us spend our lives working in jobs we hate in order to meet our needs. Thank you.
Yeah. I would like to say that our universities and school system de-skills us. We don't know, most of us don't know how to make anything. We are simply consumers. We are required to earn money so you can buy everything. Now, if you want to really be happy, then I think you need to be a maker, not simply a consumer. And when you are a maker, you make a furniture, you make a pot, you make some clothes, you make some food, you make a garden, you make love, you make body, you make bed, make anything. When you are a maker, that's a true work. So I would like to say, if you are working somewhere which you don't like, number one step is reduce the time you're working. If you are working 5 days a week, negotiate with your employer and say, I'll work 3 days a week or 4 days a week. So the fifth day, sixth day, seventh day, I can do something which I really love. Step number one. Step number two, if you are taking that day or two off, during that time, learn a new skill. Be a maker, be a potter, be a furniture maker, be a carpenter, be a writer, be a singer, be a poet, be a painter, be a dancer, do something, be a maker in that time. And then make that into your work and profession so that you can reduce your employed work even more and you can be a self-employed. I have lived all my life self-employed. I've never been employed by anybody else. I don't want anybody to be my boss. Why should I have anybody as my boss? I want to work with people as my friends, not as my boss. I don't like anybody to be boss. And so if I don't like anybody to be my boss, I don't want to be somebody's boss either. And so be self-employed if you can. But this is a gradual process. You cannot do tomorrow because we have not learned these things. So go part-time, learn new skills, develop some intellectual, artistic, imaginative, practical, art, craft, gardening, cooking. Everything has a potential money earning and a work a possibility. You can be a Hugh Purley Whitting stall and be a good cook and earn money. You can be a Monty Don and can be a gardener and can earn money. Any work can give you money, but if you are in charge of your own work, which you really love doing. So I would like you to urge you, don't waste your time, your life, doing something you don't love forever. Start to think and reduce your time for the moment, go part-time, learn new skill, and then become self-employed in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time. That's the advice I give you. Next question. Yes, there.
Hello? Is that working? Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Satish. I was wondering if you could say a little more about Soil Soul Society in terms of what you see as the kind of first steps to getting that into schooling. You know, we see, I mean, everyone I ever speak to about education feels unsatisfied with the current education system. But changing it, transforming it, overthrowing it is a big thing. So what do you see as the kind of first important steps we can take?
Yeah. First step I would like to take, well, I started school myself, what's called the small school in Heartland. And the first thing we did was to create a kitchen in the school. And we said that every day, 2 or 3 children will take a rota, one teacher, and 2 or 3 children together, they will prepare the lunch which will be eaten together, and children will say grace and a prayer together and grace together, and then with thank you and gratitude share together, and then do washing up together. And teachers do washing up as well as students do washing up. And cooking and washing up is respectable and high level of service to yourself and your fellow students. So first step I would like to see in British school, in addition to having garden in every school, I would like to see children and teachers together cooking their own lunch together. The moment you start doing that, you create a community. School becomes a community. And in a community, you work together. At Schumacher College, our students and our teachers cook together, eat together, and garden together, and we walk together. And it's a community. So transform your school into a community. That is the right thing to do. And a center of any community is kitchen. Center of any good family is kitchen. Nowadays, new architects are designing homes without kitchen. What a shame it is that homes without kitchen. Center of home is kitchen. My wife, my children, we come together, we cook together, we eat together. That's the heart. Then we go into our study, into our little room somewhere, we read our books, we write our articles, we write our essays and do other things. But when we come together, it's the kitchen. So if you want to transform a school into a community where children, teachers work together, kitchen is the center. That's my step. And then garden. Garden is a wonderful thing. We at small school and Schumacher College have a garden. And our students cooking together and gardening together is the jewel in the crown. jewel in the crown. All that lectures by James Lovelock, Vandana Shiva, Christoph Capra, Jonathan Porritt, Caroline Lucas, all these things, lectures are fine. They are wonderful. But when students are cooking together and gardening together, that is the real education. Yes.
Thanks very much. Just going back to work and productive work and happiness,
Yeah.
you were talking about sort of alternatives to work and being employed. But there's a whole other aspect of community, and there's that a lot of our work, if we use those principles, if it was about love, if it was about respect, and nature-based, and if we owned it, our public services, if we owned our public services, if we respected our doctors and nurses, if we respected our teachers, if our transport was our own, we owned it. If our energy was our own, we owned it.
Yeah.
You can work for somebody, we can work collectively together, but it's a different aspect, isn't it? So we wouldn't all have to be self-employed.
I
but
agree,
we need
I
to be
agree.
part of something productive and socially useful.
I agree with that. I'm not saying that everybody has to be self-employed. What I'm saying is to create cooperatives, create communities. And when you work as equals together as a cooperative, that's a very good model. But this hierarchical system where capitalists own the business, shareholders own the business, and all the profit goes to them, you get peanuts and you are not treated well. That's the kind of thing I'm challenging. But if you work in a cooperative community and a community-owned business, community-owned energy, that's perfect. I'm afraid my time is very limited here because next session will be here. And before that, I would like to ask Georgie to make one or two announcements. And if you want to buy any of my books, Soil Society here, I'll be happy to sign. And any other books?
Oh, can I just
One
make a
more
quick thing? Hi, I'm Dan from the Vegan Organic Network. Just like to let you know we're setting a world map up of veganic gardeners.
Yes.
And in order to get onto the map, you can either have just one plot plant or a forest garden. You can be a school or a business, and we want people to link up on the map through the method of gardening and showing that we can grow our food without polluting the planet. And I was wondering if you use veganic gardening methods for your own gardening.
Absolutely, 100% organic. I was a great friend with Masanobu Fukuoka. Have you heard of Masanobu Fukuoka? He was a great Japanese gardener and natural gardener, and permaculture, which is my great passion, and organic gardening. For the last 40 years when I've been gardening in Devon, not a single inch or ounce of any fertilizer, any chemical I have used. 100% organic.
Veganic.
Huh?
Veganic.
Veganic. Organic. Veganic. Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Satish. So inspiring and interesting. And we have a number of Satish's books here with us today. Soul Society, which he's spoken about, and Radical Love, Earth Pilgrim, which is about the incredible journey he took in his early 20s when he walked from India to America for the sake of nuclear disarmament. And then also Elegant Simplicity, The Art of Living Well, which is a really incredible book. So please do come chat to Satish afterwards, buy a book. Satish will also be offering a retreat in Somerset in early September, the 7th to the 9th, I believe, when he'll be leading a whole weekend on Soil Society.
42 acres, retreat whole weekend. You can be with me and we can have proper discussions together. Look up 42 acres website and you can book 8th to 10th of September.
Yes. So we hope you'll join us again. And Satish set up the Resurgence Trust, which is an educational charity for ecological regeneration, social justice and spiritual fulfillment. And we publish a bi-monthly magazine, and we're starting to do monthly meditations with Satish online. So if you'd like to be a member, we're offering £6 off today, and I've got bookmarks that then you can use to get that £6 off. So we hope you'll kind of continue this journey with Satish and with Resurgence, and do come chat to us afterwards.